Ernest Miller Hemingway, July 21, 1899, was an American journalist, novelist, short story writer, and sportsman. His economical and understated style, which he termed the iceberg theory, had a strong influence on 20th-century fiction, while his adventurous lifestyle and his public image brought him admiration from later generations. Hemingway produced most of his work between the mid-1920s and the mid-1950s, and he won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954. He published 7 novels, 6 short story collections, and 2 non-fiction works. 3 of his novels, 4 short story collections, and 3 non-fiction works were published posthumously. Many of his works are considered classics of American literature. Hemingway was raised in Oak Park, Illinois. After high school, he was a reporter for a few months for the Kansas City Star before leaving for the Italian front to enlist as an ambulance driver. In World War I in 1918, he was seriously wounded and returned home. His wartime experiences formed the basis for his novel A Farewell to Arms 1929. In 1921, Hemingway married Hadley Richardson, the first of 4 wives. They moved to Paris, where he worked as a foreign correspondent, and fell under the influence of the modernist writers and artists of the 1920s lost generation expatriate community. His debut novel The Sun Also Rises was published in 1926. He divorced Richardson in 1927 and married Pauline Pfeiffer. They divorced after he returned from the Spanish Civil War, where he had been a journalist. He based For Whom the Bell Tolls 1940 on his experience there. Martha Gellhorn became his 3rd wife in 1940. They separated after he met Mary Welch in London during World War II. He was present with the troops as a journalist at the Normandy landings and the liberation of Paris. Hemingway maintained permanent residences in Key West, Florida in the 1930s and Cuba in the 1940s and 1950s. He almost died in 1954 after 2 plane crashes in as many days. These consecutive accidents left him in pain and ill health for much of the rest of his life. In 1959, he bought a house in Ketchum, Idaho, where, in mid-1961, he ended his own life.